We will not have a show on July 4th. Maybe we'll just release audio of tanks rolling down the streets. You'll recall that Donald Trump has wanted to have tanks, I think, at his inauguration, and then subsequent July 4th celebrations, because he became enamored with the idea of large military shows of strength and missiles and whatnot that he saw the North Koreans do, and maybe, I think, for Bastille Day. And he wants all sorts of toys and people saluting at me. The other thing to keep in mind with this celebration on July 4th is that they are now using it as a mechanism to drive fundraising for the Republicans. Now, many of you are probably too young to remember Lincoln's bedroom. But Lincoln's bedroom became popularized by the right, I think it was in the 90s now, because Bill Clinton, some of Bill Clinton's top donors, spent a night in the Lincoln bedroom at the White House.
How's it feel?
And they were allowed to come in. In this instance, basically, tickets are being sold for the sake of Republican donors directly. There's no sort of, you're a big campaign contributor, come to the White House and visit me. It's come to this celebration for money, and only for money that will go into Republican hands. Literally leveraging an event, creating an event with tax dollars. Incidentally, well, we'll talk more about this after we hear Donald Trump make an announcement, I guess, about what's going to happen on the 4th.
Out on 4th of July at the Lincoln Memorial for your speech.
We're going to have a great 4th of July in Washington, D.C. It'll be like no other. It'll be special, and I hope a lot of people come, and it's going to be about this country, and it's a salute to America. And I'm going to be here, and I'm going to say a few words, and we're going to have planes going overhead, the best fighter jets in the world, and other planes too. And we're going to have some tanks stationed outside. Got to be pretty careful with the tanks because the roads have a tendency not to like to carry heavy tanks, so we have to put them in certain areas. But we have the brand new Sherman tanks, so we have the brand new Abram tanks, and we have some incredible equipment, military equipment on display, brand new, and we're very proud of it. You know, we're making a lot of new tanks right now. We're building a lot of new tanks in Lima, Ohio. Our great tank factory that people wanted to close down until I got elected, and I stopped it from being closed down. And now it's a very productive facility, and they do the greatest tank in the world.
Now, the idea of us getting into a massive land war that's going to require whole new fleets of tanks is pretty hard to imagine. But at least we've got a lot of them, and now we can show them off at parades. And just in case you were wondering about this July 4th celebration, it's going to be a lot about America. One of the things,
in
too...
contrast to other July 4th celebrations.
Right.
Apologizing for America. First of all, I'm sorry. All right, now go make your hot dogs, you white devils.
The Parks Department is getting charged for transporting the tanks by the military. You know, the Parks Department that's already hurting for funding. It's just, it's grotesque and slightly reminiscent of this.
A truck! Oh boy, oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. There we go. Yeah, honk, honk. Honk, honk goes the truck. Honk, honk goes the truck.
There you go. Honk, honk goes the truck. Anthony Adamrick. Still almost as Trump as Trump. But, I mean, this is welcome to the new America. And I just don't, I know there's going to be a ton of people who are going to be out there psyched to see those tanks I don't know why we don't have missiles too.
Why are you sharing ideas?
I mean, why not?
I mean, look, if you look
Why
at those
stop
incredible North Korean and People's Liberation Army parades, they have missiles. Trump should be in fatigues standing out of a limo.
That would be amazing to watch. I would also maybe
Especially
what we
if he
should
could
also do
keep
is
his balance 'cause of how
flatbed
grotesque
with
he
some
is.
charred bodies, just to show like the handiwork of the tanks.
Speaking of which,
But I guess we don't get that to the second term of Trump. Meanwhile,
you could fly some bodies back in of any places across the world that were killing people.